Oh man, I have reached my limit. Get it? Limit? It's a well-known fact that limits were created just to torture math students. That being said, what are they and how do we solve them? You can think of limits as, what is the y value as x approaches some value? Now, in this example, what is the limit of x squared as x approaches 2? We can just plug in 2 and find that the value is 4. But what if we have a function where we cannot just plug in a value for x? In this example, we're trying to find out what the limit would be as x approaches 1. If we just plug in 1, we would get a 0 in our denominator, and that would be a discontinuity. We could plug in values that get closer and closer to 1 and see that it's heading to 1/2. And then when we get to 1, it's undefined, and that's our discontinuity. Here's a table that is showing us that as x gets closer to 1, y gets closer to 1/2. So how do we find the limit algebraically? We can take the denominator of x squared minus 1 and distribute it to become x plus 1 times x minus 1. Now, we see that we have an x minus 1 on the top and bottom that we can divide to 1. Now we could put 1 in for x, and we won't get a 0 in the denominator, and we will find that the limit is 1/2. In that example, we solve the limit by factoring. But what if factoring doesn't work? Like this example. In this example, we would need to multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate of the denominator. And then we would rewrite that to make it cleaner. Now distribute just the bottom. And at this point, we can see that we can cancel out the 2 square root of x's. And now at this point, we can cancel the x minus 4's. And we are left with the square root of x plus 2. And then we replace x with 4. And at this point, we should see that the limit would be 4. This video is sponsored by My Comic Books. They are available at Amazon.com.
I bought and read all 3 of them.
You can type in the URL tiny.cc/LL4H001 to get to this link.
I bought and read all 3 of them.
You know, if you say it twice, I'm still only going to pay you for the one time. You know that, right?
That's right!